Midweek Meaningful Conversation. It is so good to be here. I can't tell you guys how much I've missed our conversation. And I don't think I realised it until yesterday when I found myself just looking forward to talking to you guys today. So, welcome back. And welcome back, anybody who's joining us live or later when they're rewatching it. So, in case you've forgotten, we are three YouTubers who just love to get together for a good old chat once a week. So we've had a break for summer. We're coming back refreshed. We've got Paul from Narrowboat Life Unlocked and Maxine from Never Too Late Our Journey. And myself, Lisa, from A Life Full of Meaning. Yeah, I did have to think about that for a second. So here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Where are you both? Paul, last time I saw you, you were near the Anderton boat lift.
Yes. Well, as you know, the Anderton boat lift closed. I mean, we're going to go down on the River Weaver, which would have been an adventure because our friends have passed us now. They went on the Manchester Ship Canal up to Ellesmere and all the way back on the Shropshire Union. We're still on the Shropshire Union and we're absolutely loving it. We've been to Chester, we've been to Nantwich, back to Chester again, and our favourite place, which is Church Minchell, and the views are stunning down this valley, and there's a nice walk to a local pub which is like stunning food, and it's our perfect pub called the Badger Inn. We love it.
Perfect. Well, sounds like you've got that sus. That's good. Maxine, where are you in the country?
Well, we've just been to Lincoln. For half weeks we've been cruising around. In an hour's time, we're about to West Stockworth to the month.
Paul, did you get that? Maxine, I got the fact that you've been to Lincoln and that you were setting off in an hour's time to...
Yeah, the tidal Trent up Stock onto the Chesterfield Canal.
Oh. The tidal Trent. Anything that begins with the word tidal makes me just shiver a little bit. So yes, fantastic. That would be a great adventure.
Yeah.
I am in Devon at the caravan, and I just said to Paul and Maxine before we came on that since Glenn left 2 days ago, I've barely left the caravan. I've just had my head down working. Admittedly, it's a nice view, but I really need to get out more. So anyway, hello to everybody who is joining us. And it's just so good to be back, isn't it? So good. Yeah. So I thought today we could talk about seasons. I just thought it was apt as it's the 1st of September and it's getting a little bit autumnal out there. And it made me think about a couple of years ago when I was on the boat and I had a really, I'm going to call it a profound experience. Someone might just, think, well, that was just a thought, Lisa, but it stuck with me, right? Bear with. All right. So years ago, when I lived in a house, the seasons would come and go and life, obviously, we weren't having picnics in the winter and, that sort of thing. And as I was saying, I've packed my flip-flops away, in autumn, got my cardi out and my boots and stuff like that. But that was about as much as the seasons affected us. We were insulated against the weather, really. And it was just the scurrying from the front door to the car and that really made you feel that it was winter or autumn. I remember being on the back of the boat and we were cruising in winter and I remember exactly where we were and I just felt embedded, like grounded in that moment in winter. And I probably can't even do it justice, but I just felt so, I I don't want to say at one with nature. That sounds really rubbish.
Connected.
But I just connected. I felt grounded, connected, but present. And I felt winter, not just because it was cold. You know, I had my hat and my gloves and my face was cold. Not just because of that, because of everything around me showed me that it was winter. The trees, the nature, the sky, everything. And I felt in that moment exactly in the right place at the right time. So that was a couple of years ago, a good 3 years ago, and I still remember it. And it got me thinking about how modern day life insulates us from the seasons, and whether that's a good thing, or if we should live more seasonally. That's what I'm trying to say. So we can't start any conversation about seasons until I've asked you the question, have you got a favourite season? What is it and why? So let's start there. Maxine.
I think my favourite, when everything's starting to blossom and all the buds coming out and the weather usually so you can still go out walking and enjoying the.
So you cut out there a bit, Maxine. So was that spring when the blossom comes out and everything is starting to come alive again? Do you think it's? I think a lot of people love spring, especially narrowboaters, because like we usually done with winter, and the first signs of spring is just so welcome. Do you think it is that things coming to life again feeling?
And you can get out and about, and you're not. Yeah, it's fresh. You know, nice to get into the fresh.
Right. After a winter
again.
After a winter of being in more. So what about, thanks Maxine, what about you, Paul?
Oh, well, there's things I love about every season. I mean, if there weren't the wet grey days that we get in this country, I'd love winter more. But I think, and spring I love, you know, when the bluebells come out, I don't think there's any nicer smell and nothing nicer than walking through a woodland full of bluebells. But autumn, I think, has always been my favourite season. You know, I think of the leaves changing colour, the leaves falling off the trees, going back to school in September sort of, you know, makes you think about autumn. And yeah, it's, you know, you've got Halloween and it's nearly bonfire. I just love autumn, the colours, and it's my birthday in autumn, so maybe that's something to do with it. I don't know.
Oh, thanks, Paul. I agree, actually. I'm a big autumn fan. And there's something I like about every season, but some of them do drag a little bit, don't they? I mean, to be honest, when we had all that hot weather a couple of weeks ago, I mean, I was over summer. I was like, bring on autumn. So I love autumn for all of those things. I also love autumn food. You know, that sort of, you know, hearty, you know, butternut squash, pumpkin, all those sort of good foods. So yeah, so I would Mick in Thailand, they have 2 seasons, hot and wet and hot. So that's we forget how lucky we are. Don't we? It's we forget how lucky we are to have those seasons. I've just realised I haven't got the live chat on. Let me press that. I'm out of practice, quite frankly. I don't know what I'm doing. So
back at school.
Yeah, I know.
You forgot how to be joined up handwriting.
Every day's a school day. So yeah, hello to everybody watching. So what do you think about this idea of living more embedded within the seasons? What does it sound like to you? Is that just a crazy idea, or do you think there's some benefits? Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, is it human nature that sort of end of autumn and it's coming to winter and you want to, you get your warm quilts out, you get your winter jackets out, and if you're on a boat, you start stocking up with logs and coal if that's what you burn on your boat, and it just feels good, doesn't it, that you're preparing for winter, and you sort of knuckle down. And again, there's things that I love about winter. I think again, for me, it's being connected to nature. I think if you're more connected to nature, you're more in tune with the seasons. And also, am I the only one that thinks we should be hibernating in winter? I just want to eat and eat and eat. Yeah. And I'm sure, I don't know, tens of thousands of years ago, I'm sure people used to just practically hibernate through the winter until spring and then get back to life.
Do you know what? I'm with you, Paul. I'm with you. What about you, Maxine? What do you think?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, we're gonna. There you are.
I'm gonna swap computers because it keeps happening.
Okay, all right. Do you want me to switch this one off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. See you in a minute.
Okay.
Boat time said I don't want summer to be over. That's how I felt today when someone said that.
What, you don't want summer to be over? Did you just say, Paul?
Yeah, boat time just said that, haven't they? Was Amy?
I see. Yeah, don't want summer to be over. Do you know what I love about autumn? I love the lights. Yeah, I'm like, those autumn days where it's blue sky and the sun is shining. I don't know, there's something about the light in autumn that I just absolutely love.
And that nip in the air as well, it's good, isn't it? I think, do we think that summer's over because we know it's soon going to be winter, but we're forgetting how nice autumn can be?
Yeah, maybe. I think that's the thing, because also, in the UK, summer's not guaranteed to be warm and dry, is it? So boat time. I'm excited for cozy times, though, with blankets and the fire on. I mean, don't we just love it? I think there's something deep within us that is like, this is good, to be warm and to be inside when it's dark and cold outside.
Yeah, and it's cozy, isn't it? And you get that question a lot. Oh, it must get so cold on a boat in the winter and it must be horrible. But actually, winter on a boat is a fabulous time, I think.
Yeah, it's totally. It's just the mud. It's not the cold. It's the mud. That's what I say. Mick said, next time I come to the UK, I'm booking winter time. Yeah. Yet another canal adventure, walking, kicking through leaves. I mean, that's just a joy, isn't it? Until you hit dog poo, then it's all over. Joe says, my favourite season is summer. Long days, light evenings, although I can never get used to Christmas in the heat. I think that must be, I couldn't do it. My brain would be like, that couldn't work. So, and I think Mick also says, I so miss waking up to a night snowfall. That feeling in the morning when you wake up. So have you got a least favourite season?
I wouldn't say season. I think November and January are always a bit hard, aren't they? Because that's when you tend to get the wettest, greyest, and you know that it's a long time before spring happens. And January is just like, it's like a hangover from a party, isn't it? You've had Christmas, you've had New Year, and then January just seems to drag. And as soon as you get into February and
do you know, my birthday is the end of January. I always think it's a glorious month, to be honest. But we used to go on holiday mid-January for years with all the kids. We used to take a Monday to Friday break in mid-January, and it was always like such a great way, because you'd get Christmas out the way and then we'd be looking forward to the holiday, and then it would keep us going. Now I just heard a bleep as if Maxine was coming back. Here she is. Let's hope that works. Maxine, Can we hear you?
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect.
Sounds a lot better.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent. We've just been chatting about our least favourite season. Have you got a least favourite?
I don't like the winter when it's rainy.
Yeah.
So
come round our boat for coffee and cake. Sorry, Maxine.
Yeah.
What's Kath saying? Let's have a look. I differ here. Think it's an age thing, but I now would love an annual spring-like climate. So not boiling, but with loads of sunny rain too, so that everything is green. Yeah, there is something so fresh and lovely, about not too hot weather and when everything's lush and green. I think we've learned that over this summer with no rain and everything just looked so, well, dead, quite frankly, didn't it? Yeah. So, yeah. So the question is, can we learn to love winter is what I want to know. But more importantly, in our society, is it possible for us to really lean into those seasons and live like more seasonally? Is it possible in today's day and age?
It's probably harder, isn't it? Because of, obviously electricity and TV and lights. Well before that, I suppose it was a lot easier. People used to light a candle and that would be their only light. So, yeah. Yes, I think it's more difficult now.
Do you think it's more difficult? Maxine, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's more difficult because of the way society is and out of everything these days. But I'm hoping, since coming onto the boat, it's going to be easy. Especially think that with the food system, the way we cook and eat and that type of thing. And I think because of obviously we're going to have more dark nights and it's going to have the power, the electricity and everything. So we're going to have to change the way we do everything in the evenings to start doing more hobbies because it's going to be darker and I can't go out into the fresh air and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you bring up some really good valid points there. I think I have reservations of how in today's society that we can live this way, because it's almost like the weather or the climate is a inconvenience factor. I just think like snow days, they're an easy one to pick on, but I'm talking about any day when the weather, when you look outside and you think, no, it's an inside sort of day. We have the luxury a lot of the time of choosing that. But because society is sort of the way it's set up, it's a 24/7 constant thing. People who work to keep that going, lorry drivers, shop owners, whatever, they don't have the luxury of looking out and saying the weather's horrific. No one should be out there in that. It's seen as an inconvenience. And then our answer is, well, we need to make the roads better or the trains better so they cope with the rubbish weather more. Do you know what I mean? Do you hear that as well? Yeah. Whenever we have dodgy weather, I just think we should perhaps it's too simplistic to say no, we should just stay at home on bad days. It makes me wonder whether society, we, can do that, but whether we have the luxury of being able to do that as individuals. Does that make sense?
Yeah. More people are going to be working from home this year, and I suppose the difficulty is the massive rise in energy costs. Can people afford to put the heating on? Can they afford to have the lighting on? Are they going to go to bed earlier? I know, for instance, Anthony's mum, she quite liked the cold, but we'll go round and she's not got the heating on because she said she can't afford it. And it's just, you know, especially for elderly people, it's quite a scary time, isn't it? What's it going to be like this winter?
Do you know, you bring up such a valid point, Paul. The parish council that I work for are looking at how they can provide services without a great deal of cost. So, for example, in the building we work, the heating and the lights are on. So what about if we open the doors and then just have a games afternoon and maybe somewhat, you know, it has to be low cost because of the budgets. But what about people could get a soup and a roll and a hot drink, be in a warm space, play, you know, get some board games out. And, you know, the organisation I'm working for are doing things like that. So for exactly the people that you've just described. So, I mean, it's crazy in this day and age that we're thinking that way, isn't it? It's just crazy that we're having to, you know, think about people who may be having to decide whether they stay warm or whether they feed themselves. It's crazy. So yeah, that's crazy. What are the benefits for living seasonally? Oh, Maxine's gone. She was holding on by a thread. She's gone. What are the benefits? I think Maxine brought this up about food, but obviously if we eat seasonally, you know, there's lesser road miles. She's back.
I don't know what happened there.
You just disappeared. You just went like
She again.
You're back now. Lisa's froze.
Oh, I thought it was me again. You both disappeared. It was saying that you guys have got problems, but so I thought I'll just Lisa's frozen.
Oh, so yeah, we were talking about the costs, weren't we, of fuel and everything. I think that's a really good idea that Lisa said, because I was thinking a lot of libraries, our local libraries closed down to where I used to live, and people used to go to that library to read a paper, read a book, stay warm. But yeah, I think that was a really good idea that you mentioned, Lisa. I see you back.
I'm back. I was like, oh, how I've missed our meaningful midweek conversation. I mean, just like the luxury of the three of us being in a room and just being able to have this conversation without technology breaking down. But never mind. I was just so I don't know how much of it I said before I disappeared. Something you said, Maxine, about food and the way we cook, and I was thinking that eating seasonally, not just in winter, in every single season, has so many benefits for the environment as well. You know, it's like less food miles, you know, trying to get something that's out of you know, eating strawberries in winter, never a good idea. You know, something's had to happen. They've had to come a long way, haven't they? So I think, you know, and those benefits, although they may seem small to us when we just pick up something that's in season, there's a whole host of benefits for the environment and for the suppliers and the growers and all of those people that we don't even realise when we eat seasonally. Oh. Are you there, Maxine?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. As I said at the beginning, it's one of the things I love about autumn. I mean, autumn, you know, you've got some great flavours and things available in autumn. So
that's it.
Yeah,
nice stew and warm hot dishes.
Oh, I can't wait. I can actually not wait just for the food. So oh, Kath says, you cope with the technology. Please don't let it put you off doing these lives. No, we won't. We get there. We get there. Oh, now I never remember whether it's Mark or Paul. Apologies, Mark or Paul. I've got a feeling it might be Mark from yet another canal adventure. We've just sown our winter spinach. The slugs will be welcome this winter. Oh, yeah, that's good. Jones also said the libraries will be full. A slow cooker is cheap to run. I actually saw a graphic the other day that someone had worked out the cost of different cooking methods, like how much it costs to produce a meal on different.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's frozen. She'll come back.
Yeah. I saw somebody the other day with a device I've never seen before, and I think they're in a cabin or a camper van, and it was like a little tin that you put almost kindling in and twigs, and that made your cup of coffee. I've never seen that. It looks ace.
Oh, wow! No, I'm looking forward to using the fire and putting a pot on the fire because we didn't, but we're hoping to do that this winter. Oh, she's
hello again.
She's back.
I'm back. Paul, you left me on a cliffhanger. A device in someone's cabin. What was it?
I saw it on YouTube, and it was almost like a big tin with a little door on it, and it was basically a mini fire, and they were putting some kindling in, and that's how they were making their cup of coffee, their stovetop coffee, instead of lighting the gas. I thought, but we'll all be cutting down trees at this rate, and I know that's not a big no-no.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah,
green wood.
That is really interesting, isn't it? I thought you was going to say about a thermal cooker, because obviously on a boat, slow cooker isn't always the best option because you know you can't be plugged in for 8 hours to cook, you know, a pot of food. So thermal cookers, I think, are going to be a good investigation as well. It is Mark from yet another canal adventure. Is put. Oh, hold on. Is this what it was? Is that a Gilly or Kelly kettle? I wonder. Yeah, we'll have a look. Yeah.
Ah, my birthday's coming up. I'm going to get one of them.
Yeah. When is your birthday, Paul?
Oh, October.
October. What day? What day?
Oh, 23rd.
23rd. Yeah. Good people are born in October. Glenn's October as well. Mix just put in Northern
last year.
What was that, Maxine?
That's when we saw you in Grass.
Oh yes,
last year. You'd come for you. We were.
Yeah, and that was a nice day, wasn't it? Coffee and cake.
Yeah. Coffee and cake on your birthday. It's got to be done. Got to be done. Mick said in Northern Thailand they cook a whole chicken in a tin surrounded by fire. Tastes super. So yeah, I think I really don't want this to sound like glib or I really don't, but it's got me thinking that when we moved on to the boat, when we first moved onto the boat, especially when we were first off grid, as we know, you look at power completely different, don't you? You look at your electricity usage, your water, all of those things completely differently. And I did think the other day, you know, amongst these horrific costs that people are having to, you know, that they'll be encountering this winter, whether that people will start to look for alternative ways for doing things. And I don't mean that like, oh, you know, there's lots of alternatives. You know, it'll be out of need. But I do think one thing that people are, and that's creative. and not always creative in the sense of, you know, painting a picture or something like that, but in making things work. So I think we'll see a lot of creative solutions to, you know, in face of that difficulty, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, a lot of people were growing their own fruit and veg, weren't they? A long time ago, it was getting really popular, and I think it would probably get more popular. I remember when I was a kid, my dad, one whole of half of the garden was a veg plot, and kept chickens as well.
Yeah.
really?
You know, if you've got the room, and people are beekeeping more, and
yeah, absolutely. I think things like this do make us look for solutions.
Yeah.
You know, so so I think connecting with the seasons, we've proven it's a good thing, right? It wasn't just me like saying this is, I think it's a good thing. There's benefits to be had from doing it. What ways do you think that you can make sure that you connect to the seasons? What can you do? Not you particularly, but what can we do to make sure that we feel more connected? We as a whole, not as individuals.
I think go with the seasons rather than fight against the seasons. And, you know, you were talking before, I know it's different in different parts of the world, but we've been out for picnics on New Year's Day on the beach, and it's been mild enough if we've wrapped up warm. And Christmases are getting warmer, aren't they? I know we can go out and at Christmas Day and see daffodils coming out. So the seasons and the global, you know, the climate is definitely changing. And I just think, to me, it's connecting again more to nature, seeing the birds. You know, I love seeing the swallows arrive early summer. I'm always quite sad when they just disappear without saying goodbye. They're just gone. That's how I feel. And, you know, you were saying before about doing crafts in autumn in the run up to Christmas. I remember making Christmas cards as a kid, and that, as an adult, that's some of my fondest memories, going out, building snowmen, snowball fighting, making Christmas cards. Still love purple glitter. I'm addicted to it.
There is nothing in this world that glitter does not enhance. You know, glitter does make everything better. Let's just but I think you're right. I think you're right, getting outside, being in nature, but also on the other side to that is being inside and making. It comes back to creating, doesn't it? Creating stuff. Yeah, I'm lining those hobbies up for winter, and I really want to make sure that I do them this year. Really, I really do. I honestly, I keep thinking I'm going to do that this winter. I'm going to make those presents for Christmas. But I'm going to do it. What about you, Maxine? What do you think that we can do to help us live more seasonally?
I think grow your own veg. We always used to grow our own veg when we were in the house, do herbs and things I'm growing now, but not to the same extent. And I think if you go to places at markets and eat what is in season, it's such, you know, it's useful. And again, as you just said, like in the winters, get your hobbies, do lots of hobbies in the evening, keep outside. But as soon as it is a nice day, wrap up for fresh air, because that is so important. I think it's good for your mind. Yeah,
I agree completely. That's they're good points. Lynn has said that she kayaked on the canal on New Year's Day this year, and it was super. Paul, I've heard you mention before about that picnic on New Year's Day, and you know, I think why do we stop picnicking in the, you know, when
summer season.
Because usually there's somewhere to shelter, even if it's wet. There's somewhere to shelter, isn't there?
We've been on top of a mountain and the lettuce was flying off our sandwich. It was that windy, but it was good fun.
It is quite invigorating, isn't it? And I'm thinking, you know, rather than just the tea and the coffee, you know, in the flask, what about, you know, some nice boozy hot chocolate, or
yeah.
stuff like that. I think
Yeah, we need to embrace the seasons, don't we? We just because every season has got its mega pluses. I mean, we were lucky enough to go to Iceland. I don't mean the store, and it's just like we had hot chocolate with I think it was rum in it, and we had hot soups, and it just felt amazing. It was magical, really, and that's what I think we need to do more is embrace the seasons and not get fed up about them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, do you think we've got that covered now? Are we ready for autumn and winter? Do we feel? Do we feel it? Do we feel a little bit excited? I feel excited. Honestly, I feel. Please hold me accountable to my craft making. Please do.
I will. Every week, it's like how far. What have you made?
Yeah. I am really going to master macrame. I'm really going to master it. I've got my string. I've been watching countless YouTube videos. I mean, I should virtually be an expert right now, but because I've watched so many videos, but I do actually need to put it into practice. So, well, it has been such a delight to be back even with all the technical issues.
Yeah.
It's been so good to be back. Thank you to everybody who has joined us. Hello to Janet as well, who's managed to just join us. Thank you, everybody, for turning up. Hopefully, we'll be here, every Thursday or most Thursdays. Let's aim for that.
Yeah.
And it'll be so good. If you've got any ideas of what would be a good topic for conversation, send it over to us. We'd love to hear your ideas. So, no, before we go, what did I say? You were like giving me the eyes then, weren't you, Paul? Like, don't forget.
Yeah.
I said, don't forget, what has inspired, motivated you, made your heart sing this week? Have you got anything, Paul?
I wish I had. I think it's just out again because of our vlog, the amount of people that we've met, and we've been cruising because we did sort of 2 days where we're cruising for about 8 hours, and the amount of people that popped out the boats to say hello and said they enjoyed the channel, and it just makes you feel great. And do you mind if we have our picture taken with you? You've made our day, but that makes our day as well. And I think we both experienced the same thing, and we feel very honoured. Really,
it's lovely. It's a lovely feeling, isn't it? To make someone's day by just being there. It's lovely. That's lovely. Maxine, what about you? Oh, are you there?
My cousin, so I've started my yoga again, and doing yoga on a narrowboat is really. I feel so much better.
Yeah, it is tough doing yoga on a narrowboat, especially like a mountain pose or anything where you have to stretch your hands above your head. So, but that's good. That is so good.
What about you, Lisa?
I've got 2 things actually. I've just finished the book, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I have really enjoyed. And there was a right twist at the end I didn't see coming.
Oh.
And I've been listening while I've been walking. And when this twist happened, I was walking along and I almost like stopped mid-stride and went like, like this, I didn't see that coming. I really enjoyed that. And also I have just discovered, I'm very late to the party, Queer Eye on Netflix, and I am loving it. So they're the 2 things that have really inspired and just made me enjoy life this week. So that's it. So that is it from us this week. We will hopefully see you next week, and take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye.